Hello, hi, welcome to IT Online Trainings for you. This is our second video on creating an API. We have a couple of videos also for basic setup and creating a RAML and all. Please visit and learn from those videos. This is our second video on creating an API actually. In our previous video, part 1, what we have done is like we have created an REST RAML and then we have created an API on top of the RAML and API manager. Let's recap it quickly and let's continue from there. So I'm logging in my Cloud Hub platform. So what we have done in part one video is we have uh, we have created a RAML. This is basically to build a REST API in MuleSoft. Okay. So to do the end to end, what we have to do is like we have actually created an RAML in our design center. It's a demo employee API. Like this. And once we created this RAML, we have already published this as an asset to our exchange. What we need to Why we need to publish this as an exchange is right, if any other developer from your organization will reuse the same API, they can actually access to this API and they can directly utilize in their code without instead of building it from scratch again. It's a kind of reusable component we can provide to our organization. Okay, so we have published the REST API as an asset here. And then what we have done in our earlier part 1 video is we have created an actual API in API manager, MuleSoft API. So likewise we have created an API here. Till here we have covered in part 1. So today what we are going to do is like if you can observe here, this API is unregistered because I mean it means like this API is not active and it is not ready to consume any implementation. Now we will do the implementation for this API. Okay, implementation is nothing but we will do some business logic and we can write some flows and some logic in our code. We can implement the actual code for this API. In the RAML actually we have just designed the API. Now we need to implement the API with the code and then we can deploy it in our Cloud Hub. Then we will apply some policies on top of it. So we will see these things end to end. Okay, if you have didn't visit our previous video on part 1 how to create this RAML and API and publish it to exchange, please visit the part 1 video so that you will get better understanding from scratch. So let's start today's session. Okay, so to do that actually I would like to create a mule application in my Anypoint Studio for this RAML. Let's start. Let's open our Anypoint Studio. Close my previous applications. These are the old ones. Let's close it. Okay, let's start our API implementation from scratch. To do that, you need to click on File, New Mule Project, and here give the project name. As we are going to implement the Employee API, you can name it as Employee API or Employee API Demo, something. Runtime is the 4.3.0 by default. If you would like to work with old runtimes, if any of your client or your project requires, then you can install the older runtimes and we can update it accordingly. For now we can just accept the latest version of runtime. It's a 4.3.2. Okay, so here what we can do is like we have already published an asset in our exchange, right? So we can import it from design center from here, or you can directly take it from exchange. I just want to take it from design center here, just to generate API kit flows and all. It's an easy way. So let's click on import from design center and click on this browse button. if your studio is already, I mean, if your Anypoint Studio is already linked with your Cloud Hub account, it will automatically pop up all the APIs which are you designed in your Cloud Hub account. If not, it will ask for the add box here, like this. See, I have removed my Anypoint Cloud Hub credentials from my studio, as this is my new workspace. So what we can do is like we can configure our Cloud Hub account details here, so that from next time what it will happen, it will take the direct configuration from here, and it will do work like that. Okay, so let's add our Cloud Hub credentials here. To do that, it will open a pop here by default once you click on this browse. So click on configure, select Anypoint platform, click OK. Here see, login expires after 7 days. Here you can give some maximum days, 90 days something, or 30 days, because after 90 days you need to again log in here in Anypoint Studio to configure that. Once you click on configure, it should open up a Cloud Hub login page here. We need to fill that. Yeah, if you are facing any issues while adding your Anypoint Cloud Hub platform, which we have did earlier while importing that RAML, what you can do is like you can manually go to Windows Preferences, and then go to Anypoint Studio Authentication, and you can add here. You can click on Add and then Configure. Yeah, likewise it will ask you for Anypoint platform details. You can directly give it here. Just let me recheck. I'm sorry. Mm. So once you click on OK, it will add your Cloud Hub credentials here and in this authentication. It's a one-time change you have to do. Okay. So now let's create a new application. Create new mule project. Likewise, like we did earlier, employee demo API. And now you can select import from Design Center, and you can browse here for the APIs. It will show up with this your Cloud Hub credentials, and this is the one actually the RAML REST API which we have deployed in our Design Center. So select it, click on OK. What it will do is like it will import the RAML into your studio, and then by default it will generate a API kit flows for your RAML. This is another way in Mule 4 in Anypoint Studio 7. Earlier, what we have to do to generate these flows is right. We need to manually import this RAML into our studio, and then we can just right click on it and generate API kit flows. In that way, we have done actually in Anypoint 6. In Anypoint Studio 7, and this is an one advantage. So it will take one more minute. Let's wait. So likewise, it will show you like the employee API you have invoked here. Okay, click on finish. Let's wait for one more minute. It will set up a project structure, and it will import that details. See, this is the employee API, which the flows are actually by default it will generate. Let me maximize this. See, this is how the flows will get generated by default once we imported that RAML. This is the main flow for API Kit router, and these are the default exceptions will generate. And this is a console, and this for each and every resource in our RAML, it will create a, separate flow like this. See, if you remember in our RAML, we have get method of employee resource and get method of employee ID resource. I mean, this is for to pull all the employees. If you remember our example earlier, this request is to pull the particular employee details by using employee ID as a parameter. And this flow is post method of employee resource, which is like to create a new employee detailed into our database. To insert a new employee details in our database, we have created this resource, we have defined this resource in our RAML. Okay, for each and every resource and of every method, it will create a separate individual flow along with the main flow. Main flow is nothing but a entry point for this API to trigger our application. Okay, you can open up everything and you can see actually. And by default it will give this slash API as a base path, and port it will give you by default as a 8081, and host is by default it will give you as a 0.0.0.0, which means like it will accept all the hosts. We can test this application using localhost by our local application as well as our cloud hub application. So this is the way actually we need to configure our HTTP listener if we are going to deploy our applications into cloud hub. Okay, and let's see, this is a API kit router, and by default what it will give you, like for each and every resource it will generate a default data view flows. Actually, we need to actually add our actual implementations and we can configure this, but by default it will generate by using the data view or the example which we have given in our RAML. Based on the RAML structure, it will generate these flows actually. Okay, so if you can see this RAML. Okay, if you can actually check your RAML from here as well. In our employee application, it will add that parent RAML under SRC main resources and API demo example RAML. You can see it will give you all the RAML details. This is the same RAML actually we have imported it from our design center, right? So this is our first resource slash employee get resource. What it will do, it will actually pull all the employee details from database, and the next method is used to pull only particular employee details based on the employee ID. So likewise we have three different flows. Okay, so we have started our application API implementation. So for now what we can do is like we will deploy this implement. We will just put a logger here. Just actual implementation we will do it once we are covering the database module. So for now what we can do is like we can just add a logger for each and every flow, every resource. We can say like pulling all the employee details. So likewise we can just add a logger here. This is what getting one employee details. So employee ID. The third one, this is for what? This is to create a new employee in database. By default, this logger will come up with actual default flow. We can just add our own logger and we can add our own log message. This is for creating, no, inserting new employee details in database. Okay, let's see the actual database implementation in our database module. So for now, we are done with our API implementation. In real time, what you will do in your real time projects and client projects is like, once we generate this flow, we can just create another configuration file for each and every functionality, and we can include that functionality, invoke that flow from here in the main flow, so that it will actually work. We will see that one by one in our upcoming videos. For now, just keep in mind that we have imported the YAML and created an API here. And now we need to deploy this application into Cloud Hub as an implementation. So, okay. And one more thing we have to do while deploying our application, which is like, see, our API in our Cloud Hub, our API is unregistered now. So this is not able to, I mean, we know this API is not available for the users to consume. What we can do is like, we can just take this API ID and we can add that API ID as a auto discovery element in our API. What it will do is like, once we deploy this application by using that auto discovery element in our application, once we deploy this application into runtime manager, that will activate this API. So then the API status will become active, so that on top of our implementation, we are good to apply policies through this API. That is why auto discovery will come into picture. If you want to if you want to apply any policies or any security level layers to your implementation or your proxy, we need to actually include this API ID as a auto discovery element in our application, and then we need to apply this. Okay, so let's see, this API status is unregistered here, right? So just copy this API ID from here, go to your Anypoint Studio, and in your application, go to Global Elements and click on Create. Here, type for Auto Discovery. Okay, see, this is how the element will come up. Just click on OK. Here you need to paste the API ID which you have copied from here, because for each and every API there is an implementation, that the both implementation and API should match and should sync up to get the communication between this API and our implementation. So that is why we are actually using this API ID as an auto discovery in our implementation flow. Here the flow name you can select any other flow, but the main flow would be the preferable. We can just select a main flow. Okay, click on OK. Just save it. Okay, now we are good to deploy this application into our Cloud Hub. So just right click on it. You can deploy your application into Cloud Hub in two ways. You can just directly deploy by using this Anypoint platform deploy to Cloud Hub. This is one method. Second method, we can actually export this application as a jar file and we can deploy it manually. We will see that second method later. For now, you can just deploy it from Studio directly. Right click on it, Anypoint platform, select deploy to Cloud Hub. It will open up a window, deployment window for you like this. Let's wait for one more minute. See, likewise, our Cloud Hub window will open like here. Select a sandbox environment. Go runtime manager, click on applications. is a old application actually. So you can deploy a fresh application by clicking on deploy application. You need to provide a unique name for your application. And I'm actually giving a demo employee application hyphen test. So to create an employee, to create any application name, actually these are the set of rules we need to follow. This looks some good, right? So okay, I have given my name here, and deployment target would be Cloud Hub by default. Okay, runtime is a 4.3.2 runtime, so we don't need to change anything for now. Actually it will show up a file by default, then it will enable you the deploying application. Let me see, let me close it, and let me copy this file name, sorry, application name. Okay, let me close it and check what will happen. Okay, okay. Before actually deploying it, we need to build this application actually. You need to first deploy this application into your local, so that it will build your application. It will generate a jar file for you as a deployable archive. Then you are going to we are good to deploy it in Cloud Hub. Okay. So what I have did is, like, we have just go to run as mule application. You need to first run your application in your local. It will build a jar file. Otherwise we can just directly build a jar file by using maven commands. We will cover that maven commands also in one of our video very soon. So for now, just build it in studio. Ignore these warnings, these are related to JVM. This is actually deploying applications in my local. Once this is done, actually we need to stop this local server, and then we can deploy it into Cloud Hub directly. Okay, I think build is over. We can just we can deploy this directly in Cloud Hub. Right click on it and deploy to Cloud Hub. Now I think now we won't get any issue. Otherwise we can follow the second method of deployment. By default, actually, it took my application name from my studio. So, okay, now we are good. See, once we deploy application in our local, it will generate a jar file so that it will show up this deploy application button to you. Earlier, it was disabled, right? So, this is one of tip to debug it actually. Just click on this deploy application. It will deploy your application into Cloud Hub. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Let me pause my video here. Once this is up, then I'll resume my video. Yeah, so once we deployed our applications, our application is getting failed with API key is blocked. So in order to make this API is auto discovery, along with the API key change in our code, what we have to do is like we need to actually provide Anypoint platform client ID and client secret under properties here. Okay, so to give that, we have to give actually you can just in your application go to settings, click on properties tab, click on text, provide Anypoint dot platform dot client underscore id. This is the one value you have to give. And another thing, for test, just keep like this. Another one is Anypoint platform client secret. Okay, so these two values actually you need to copy it from your access management. This is one access management here, where this is where all the admin details will be available for your environment, Cloud Hub environment. So let's go there and click on your organization. Okay, here you will see client ID and client secret. Copy these values and provide there here in properties. If you can click on show, it will show up the client secret. So these are the client ID and client secret. We need to copy it from here and we need to provide under properties Anypoint platform, Anypoint dot platform dot client ID and dot platform dot client secret. I'll provide these key names in our description box. So once you have provided these details, click on apply changes and click on start. So your application is again ready to deploy. So let's wait for its deployment to be completed. Yeah, now if you can see your application is got deployed. Whenever you see this green icon here, it means like deployment is successful. Okay, these are the logs actually printed by the Cloud Hub while deploying your application. Earlier we have seen that API ID is blocked. So once we provide this API platform client ID and client secret in properties, now our API and our runtime manager application is linked up. Okay, now you can see like API key is unblocked. If you can see, so now API is ready to consume. Okay, let's see in our API manager, let's see if that API is becoming active or unregistered yet. Okay, so I'm going back to my API manager in another tab actually. See, if you can observe here, the status is active now. Earlier it was unregistered. Once we link up this API manager and our application by using this auto discovery mechanism, it will automatically link up these two and it will show you active here. And one more thing we need to change. Earlier, while creating this API, we have given a test URL as an implementation URL. Now we need to change it to the actual URL, which means like here we deployed our application, right? Go to settings. This is our URL actually of this in our MuleSoft application. So just copy this URL and you need to provide override this URL actually. So come down. So here you need to provide your application URL which you have deployed. So I am just copy paste my application URL from runtime manager where you have deployed your applications. So you can see, if you can I'll show you from beginning actually. So in your runtime manager, this is your application, right? You can just click on it and go to settings. So from here you can actually copy this API app URL. This app URL you need to provide as a implementation URL in your API, in API manager. Okay, so just click on save. Yeah, so the changes getting applied. So now it is demo implement API. Let's test our application. So to test our application, what we can do is, like earlier we have tested it by using our local host, right, in our demo application. What we can do is, like now we need to test it with our Cloud Hub application URL directly. Click on new tab, and before that you can just check what are the endpoints you have configured in your RAML. If you can observe, if you can remember, in our part 1 video we have tested our application by using Exchange, even though it is implementation is not ready, right? So now implementation is ready, so we can directly test our application. Okay, to do that actually I came here in Exchange to copy this URL. From here you can copy your URL. It is a slash employee resource of get, right? Our resource is slash employee and our method is get to pull all the employee details. Okay, let's test this. So first thing you have to do is, like you need to copy your application URL as we did earlier. So this is from runtime manager. You need to copy your application app URL. This is by default HTTP only. So what you can give? You can give HTTP colon double slash your Cloud Hub URI, and be aware of all the spaces and all. We should not include any spaces between. Okay, so no, this is not a HTTPS. So HTTP our Cloud Hub URL and our main resource. This is the RAML resource path we have given to actually to pull all the employee details. This is the resource path, if you remember in our example. Okay, so this is our Cloud Hub URL, endpoint URL. If someone asked you to provide, like for client who consume client who is consuming our MuleSoft API, they will ask for our MuleSoft endpoint URL. So this is how you need to provide your endpoint URL to the clients. Okay, let's click on it. This is get method only as we configured in our REST API. So let's click on it. One thing you need to remember, here it is showing like no listener for endpoint, which means that this endpoint we have not configured. In our RAML we have given a slash employee only. Then why we cannot able to invoke this with the slash employee API? Why? Because here once you start your implementation, it will provide you default API kit router flows, right? Initially when we started implementing our application, so you need to just click on this listener, and here by default it will add one base path. This is the base path slash API. So you need to provide this slash API before our actual resource name. Slash employee is a raml resource, but the slash API is come up with a default base path for all the resources when we implemented our application by using this raml. Okay, so let's set test now.